Hello, I'm Muchaneta from Fashionette, and I'm here at the Keyhouse today with Lee Edelkoort. I'm very excited to sit down with her and have a little chat about what's going on within the Keyhouse. So, you are the queen of fashion predictions and trends and whatnot, and I wanted to know your thoughts when it comes to, let's say, education. Because I think this is where it begins when it comes to teaching people. I mean, what are your thoughts with that? And do you think that the education system is giving students what they need in order to come into the fashion industry?
Now, today, fashion is the most old-fashioned industry and therefore also education in the world. So when you compare fashion education to design education, architectural education, writing, filmmaking, it is very far behind. It has not understood that we are living in a society where people want to share. It's still completely celebrating the unique, incredible individual making all these clothes, which this person is not, because it's helped with an enormous team. The team is never even mentioned. Not even in the small letters of invitation. Whereas when I would go to a movie, there's even the caterer, the taxi driver. Everybody is on this role. And why not? What does it cost to say thank you? So first of all, that is already the problem, that many colleges are still producing little catwalk designers. Also because the parents who pay the 50,000 entrance fee, they want the kids to be famous designers, of course. But it's not how it works, because most of them end up designing T-shirts for the rest of their lives and are frustrated. So I believe education needs to take wind of what is new, needs to take a position about the future. In the last graduation show in most schools, there was a super big amount of plastic and nylon and all sort of shit. How can we combat, plastic straws if young fashion kids, designers, are putting all this plastic on top of clothes because maybe Rei Kawakubo did it and did it well. I think schools should have a rule. There should be a rule that we cannot use these materials anymore. Otherwise, only when they're recycled, rekindled. We need to start there. Education needs to start with the whole principle of new fiber, new textile. More interesting textile also would make more interesting clothes, and so on and so on. So in fact, the whole thing needs to be overhauled.
I agree completely. You did say something very interesting on a panel discussion this morning or this afternoon, and it's about the leather. And how they're creating this new type of leather, this new type of material. And I think you kind of looked at it like it might not be so exciting anymore, because if people know that it's created in a lab and it's easy and it's accessible, that, it takes away the kind of fetishism, I think you said. Yeah. I mean, can you kind of elaborate a little bit more about that? Because I thought that was quite interesting.
Well, I've encountered the companies making this in laboratory skins, which are made with the DNA of animals, and possibly also we will make meat in this way. So there's a promise here, but at the same time I think people love so much fur and leather and suede because it is animalistic. And therefore it's animistic. It has an anima. It's, almost like still alive. It's like hovering under our feet, so it's something it speaks to their imagination, I believe, to the old hunters we are maybe. And so if we take away, if it's producible like this, it will lose its animalistic character possibly, and then I'm not sure that we need it. As many people today, they have toads in textiles and all sorts of materials, coated materials. So there's a lot of baskets and there's lots of already new ideas. We worked with some prominent companies working with leather, and really the task was to see what is there beyond leather, right? So I think that there is I'm not sure that they're going to be successful. In the beginning, they will be very successful, but it's very expensive to do it. So then I'm not sure if it's not going to backfire. How many lizards and serpents and crocodiles and, you know.
True.
I love to look at them in real also. So let's wait and see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that one of the reasons we buy is because of the fetishism in these materials. That's why people cherish their shoes, their bags. And there's such a laden, so emotional thing that, I think that will be given away.
Never thought about it like that. I kind of love what Modern Meadow's doing, but when you kind of said that on stage, it gave me food for thought. I was like, okay, I never thought of it that way, so it's quite interesting. So I'm going to ask you one final question. It's with regards to innovation. Why do you think that we have to drag the fashion industry kicking and screaming when it comes to looking at new materials, using technology, basically just evolving? What are your thoughts with that?
I think that maybe textile and fashion is the most archaic industry there is. And, in the Louvre they have the pleated skirts of the pharaohs. They are actually knitted. And it's exactly the same knit we still use. So almost every other technique developed from the Bronze Age on is what we still do. So it's an incredibly traditional thing. And it has deep roots. Centuries old roots. That is the reason why it's resisting innovation, I think. Because it loves its heritage and tradition, and it's true that it's amazing what man has achieved. Who learned humans to weave? Was it the weaver bird, or did the weaver bird look at humans? How come that in all areas of the world people started to make fiber weave, print patterns, so on? It's incredible. So the history of textile is amazing. Therefore, and I think this is why the futurism is there's a resistance against it.
Well, I must say, Lee, we're absolutely honoured to have you here at the Keyhouse. Thank you so much for finding the moment to talk to me. Much appreciated. Thank you.